We will begin with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chaplain Pete.
Thank you. Let us pray. Blessed are you, eternal source of our life and goodness. Please bless our city and its commission this evening. May we have a peaceful and productive meeting, extending kindness, listening to understand, and serving together. We give thanks for our elected representatives, for our businesses in town, our churches, our families, and the good citizens who make our city the great place that it is. May your blessing protect us from the dangers of threatening weather, infectious illness, and polarizing opinions. Help us to identify the common ground that unifies us as a community. We ask this in the name of all each of us holds sacred and holy. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
We'll open for public input. Please state your name and your address.
Okay,
We don't know you.
thanks, Mayor. John Lair, Pittsburgh, Kansas. Mayor and Commissioners, I'd just like to voice a little bit on things that are going on in the northeast part of town. And, one of the things is that your trash, you put your trash out in the receptacle, somebody comes along and they reach in there and slice it, throw trash all over the place, so then you gotta go pick it up. And it's not just me, it's a lot of them that's happening too in the alley on the northeast part of town. One of the things is that, I know we have a problem. A few weeks ago, Don made the comment to not say these people are criminals. Well, the whole thing about it is, we as people who pay taxes, insurance, and have our houses and pay rent, we like some representation too. And I know it's tough, but you ask 90% of the people in the northeast part of town, and they'll tell you our biggest problem is the Wesley House and CHC backing them up. And it's getting to be a real problem in the neighborhood. And there's a lady who lives down a block or so from me. Her car's been broke into 3 times, and it's getting ridiculous. And one of the things I'd like to ask is that I'd like to ask the city manager and city attorney that we need to come up with something to make it easier for the inspectors to write these things up and not have to go back and back and back and back again. And, like they did the grass, that's fantastic, I think, what you guys did there. You write them up one time, the next time you take care of it, or they take care of it themselves. And I just think that our city manager and our city attorney are very capable of coming up with something that we could come up with that would be in favor of the judge too. A lot of these things have to go before a judge, and this would be great. And I'm sure that they're very capable of coming up with something, and we just need to, I think. And the other thing is that these houses that are going to be pushed in and tore down, they put a card on the house, and it says not to be inhabited by anybody. Well, that's just an invitation for people who are homeless to go in these houses. And it's a bad deal, but I just want you to consider, helping the people out who pay the taxes and live in this county. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Good evening. My name's Kevin O'Connell. Live on North Grand here in Pittsburgh. I'd like to present some documentation I've already passed out to the commissioners here. I'd like to read that document to you. also provided you some photos of some of the homeless issues that we've got going on in town as well. And there is also a petition that we're getting together to present to you on interference with the businesses and the homeless problems within the neighborhoods around town. So if I may, we're here today to raise concerns among the citizens of Pittsburgh regarding the homeless issues in Pittsburgh. And we're a group of citizens that have reported numerous issues with theft, trespassing, illegal camping, public urination and defecation, occupation of dilapidated and condemned housing, drug use and paraphernalia near or on school grounds. We're gathering signatures on petitions from concerned citizens and business owners to demonstrate our desire to address these issues and protect the community. City parks and public locations are becoming unsafe for parents and children due to aggressive approaches by homeless occupying these areas. New ordinances and regulations are needed to help control these issues. Now, Wesley House, Lord's Diner, CHC are all contributing to the rise of these issues. I've heard that CHC controls all three of these organizations now. The no questions asked services that are provided by these organizations with no expectation of proof of being from here or desire to improve their situation are acting as a draw for the homeless to come to Pittsburgh. Anybody that denies that just needs to visit these camps at Wesley House and other areas in Pittsburgh. And the pictures that I passed out to you guys are just locations that we've taken pictures of the issues that are ongoing around town. There are no shelters in Pittsburgh to provide housing for homeless, and we don't want one in this city. The citizens of Pittsburgh don't want to create an exploding population of homeless in our community by expanding or creating new attractions for them. Our police, fire, EMS, hospitals, and city staff are overwhelmed daily with these issues. We need the city commission to address what city ordinances and regulations can be added or amended to relieve our city of these issues. We want to see and be given a chance to provide feedback on your plans to alleviate the ongoing issues regarding the above problems before enacting measures, but the citizens of Pittsburgh need to see a serious effort made to correct these issues. I thank you for hearing me this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In addition to what Kevin was saying,
Can you,
You'll have to come up
you gotta
forward.
come up and talk.
I didn't want to.
You'll be all right.
Okay. Nicole Hamblin, in addition to what Kevin was saying, when we would like the city to modify the C-Click Fix app on there, for homelessness, if there's something that's not an immediate action that needs taken, so that we can have an accurate, report.
I got half of that. Say that one.
So the C-Click Fix app, so if there's a homelessness, added down to that part of it.
Add a category that's homelessness.
Yes, and like Kevin was saying, that there are some citizens that want to be involved with this ordinance and not, to where it's necessarily just looked at by the commission and decided on and voted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I'd like to come back to this a bit later, but we need to move ahead with our agenda, which won't take very long. We'll move to the consent agenda. We'd like to pull D, and we'll have an explanation of that from Kim.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda excluding item D.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda and removing D. We'll have a roll call vote.
Brooks?
Yes.
Munsell?
Yes.
Sigley?
Yes.
Okay, Mayor, Commissioners, good evening. Approval of ordinance number S 1098. There was a typo on page 2, section 7 and section 8. We just made the correction and added board and secure rather than demolition. We have revised that. You have the corrected version in front of you, and it should be stamped revised. And that's the only change.
We'll need
Move to approve.
motion to approve.
I second it.
Moved and seconded to accept the revised addition on ordinance number S1098. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That should be a roll call. Aye.
No,
No, it's okay.
fine. Yeah.
It's all right, okay. Now we can go back to, I think, the non-agenda reports and requests.
Kim's coming back.
Sorry. Should have stayed up here. Okay, just a quick update on the Neighborhood Advisory Council. The ordinance was established July 11th, 2023, to support the citywide cleanup efforts and create a council of citizens that can access both public and private resources, provide leadership, support, and information on neighborhood issues. We just wanted to give a brief update. Tomorrow, August 9th, the press release and media blast will go out, just letting people know that they can apply, how to apply, and where the information will be online. September 6th will be the application deadline. And September 26th, at that city commission meeting, we would do board appointments. So we're moving forward instead of having to wait till December on that. So it's exciting.
I got a question for you, Kim.
Sure.
We just heard, and we'll talk about it pretty soon. But on this neighborhood advisory committee, and you listed a number of things that they're going to be taking care of. Could we add the homeless issue to people in the quadrants, or any quadrant where there's a problem? We need to have people address that too and be part of that. And I know this neighborhood advisory committee is not going to be approved until December, but
We'll do that September 26th.
September 26th?
Yep, so we'll do it a little earlier.
hopefully that's quick enough so people that spoke tonight might be able to apply and get on there and share their inputs on that particular problem.
Concern, yeah. And that would be, one of the main goals is for those individuals to represent their quadrants, what concerns they have, what's going well, what's not, what do they need. That's a platform to be able to do that. So that's totally all part of it.
Good, thank you.
Yep, you bet.
We've got to start somewhere on this issue, this homeless issue. So what I'd like to do is ask the city attorney to review all ordinances that presently would apply to homelessness, vagrancy, solicitation, and anything else that might come into view on that, because we don't know what all those ordinances are that are sitting somewhere in the ordinance book. I think once we do that and have an idea of what we have available, then we can look ahead and see what ordinances we could possibly pass. The other thing that I would like to see done is that we gather all the entities that have an interest in this, beside the citizens, and see what kind of input we can get from those folks, as well as what funds are available to do something with at some point. And I'll ask the city manager and his staff to perhaps put something together where people can meet at some point and have a discussion. We've got to address this problem, and we've got to move forward on it at this time. And I know that it's terribly annoying. I see it all the time, and I know what I would do, but that's not within the law. And we have to look and see what's what the due process is, in other words. And that's why I think we need to see the ordinances that apply at the present time, and then get the citizenry together, those interested, and come up with a form of solution together, rather than just the city by itself. Thank you.
I'd like to add a little bit to that, Doc. I agree with everything you said. I just wonder if maybe we could think about having the Lord's Diner start feeding the people that need the food back at the Lord's Diner. Because I think when you take it out into the neighborhoods, that creates a problem with people coming there and staying there. and it's becoming a safety issue now. I've heard from several citizens, business owners, about confrontations that's happened with this. So I'd like to see, if possible, move it back to the Lord's Diner, it's a more secured location. If that's not possible, maybe move the deliveries to the parking lot right here by the police department. You know, there has been incidents where there's been fighting and stuff like that, and the time it takes for the police to get to the incident, something could occur already. So I think if we had it closer here, I know I wasn't here at last meeting, but I understand there was a confrontation in our commission meeting, and luckily, the good police officers we have protecting us was able to get the situation under control. But the citizens ought to have something also, that if there's an issue, we can't respond quickly enough, so that's why I would say, let's start feeding them back at the Lord's Diner or delivering meals in the parking lot outside the police department.
Any other persons would like to speak on this particular issue? Okay. Moving on, and the mayor's moment, I think you just heard my moment. Anything else?
I have one more thing, Doug.
Yes, sir.
And I know we've all received emails about this turkey trot that's going to happen. I didn't realize that it's some kind of a running event, been denied by the city for whatever reasons. And we have some letters from the Downtown Advisory Board and the Arts Council in favor of this. I've heard we block off streets in the past for art walks, low walking, things like that. I think I'd like to see us do this again. My understanding is the city takes out the barricades, puts them out on the corners, and the people that's involved in the event put the barricades out, and after the event's over, put the barricades back on the corner. I think this is a great thing. It's going to bring people to Pittsburgh, and I'd just like to see that. I don't know why it's not been approved. Maybe there's a reason, Darren, why they've been
Well,
denied.
I think one of the reasons is because it happens on Thanksgiving Day. And there are people at home with their families, and so, which means we'd have to pull in extra officers, extra city employees to put barricades up, take them down, and we're taking them from home, on a holiday.
Well, I just said they put them out, Doc, before the event, and the people that's organized the event block the streets off, and then they take the barricades off after event. We already have police and fire department working that day anyway, so I believe the city would be covered in any kind of emergency. I think they have plenty of staff that could get the barricades out of the way if there was an emergency. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve this turkey trot.
I was just, you have a moment. We are working with the organization that's wanting to put it on. We have found, they suggested an alternate route that they are wanting us to look at. So city staff is reviewing that. And then we've also created an alternate route that could work, that I think we can meet in the middle on. But we 100% support the event and want it to happen. It's just coming up with the safe route that's approved at any time, whether it's a holiday or not, just to make sure everybody's safety is taken into consideration.
Is it going to require additional staff from the city for this event?
We haven't completely reviewed that yet on where the barricades would be and the roads that they're crossing, so it just came through today. So we want to look at that and consider that with city staff to see what that would require.
Am I correct by saying that I was told by staff they put out the barricades on the corner and the event organizers barricade whatever they need barricaded, and then after the event, they take the barricades out and put them back on the corner for the city staff to pick up the next day?
With most special events or road closures, that typically
So that
does
could work the
happen.
same way, whether it's on Thanksgiving
So,
Day or any day.
First of all, I think we need to be fair to the organizers of the event, because they have a plan, and we're working with them through the Downtown Advisory Board, the Arts Council, to discuss the options. They know, our issues with closing part of the state highway, which is 4th Street. They understand that. We understand their issues with the timing of the event. They want to have it, it's a turkey trot, obviously, they want to have it on Thanksgiving morning, which creates its own set of issues for the city. It doesn't mean we don't want it to be the event that it was last year and more, which is what they're trying to do. But without them being here to start talking about, I just feel like it's very one-sided if I'm up here saying, well, here's the 6 reasons why the city is, we've obviously met with them and told them, we've gone around the staff, we've had the streets and utilities, the police, the fire, everybody's weighed in, the housing, on what our expectation is for an event like that. They're aware of those issues, which is why they've come back now to Kim with a new route. They want to be downtown. We want them downtown. Closing 4th Street is an issue. It's not as simple. I can close Olive and have the Munsell family stand out there for the Munsell parade.
I don't have one scheduled, but thank you.
The Hall family could stand out there for the Hall parade, and Charlie could block it. We can't do that with the state highway, okay? And we definitely can't do it on one lane of the state highway. And so that's really where the difference is. But there are some businesses down there that want to have that flow by their businesses, and I think that's what we're trying to accommodate. And luckily, it's August and not October, so I think we've got plenty of time to work it out. But I would ask you to just be patient as we work back through the Downtown Advisory Board and the Turkey Trot folks, and see if, we will come up with a solution that works for them. We want to support the event. We want it to be huge, and we want them to enjoy it. But we obviously have certain things that we have to consider with regards to it being on Broadway. And we're working through that, right? Yeah.
Thank you, Darren.
You bet.
You will have to withdraw your motion.
Mayor, it's difficult to hear Chuck on his microphone. He needs to move it closer to him or something. You can't hardly hear you.
Oh, me?
Yes.
All right. All right, I just made a motion to approve the turkey trot, but after further discussion, I'm going to withdraw that motion. The city's going to work out the details. I didn't realize it was closing 4th Street, which we probably have never done. I know most of the time we have something, 4th Street is always left open.
It's actually, Broadway is the state highway.
Oh, Broadway.
But, like I said, I don't want to get in, I don't want to.
Sure. So I'm going to withdraw that motion. They're going to work it out, and we're going to have a turkey trot. So,
Any other business? Sir?
I missed a little paragraph there when I was speaking to you guys earlier. I apologize. The last thing we were wanting to discuss, and it was mentioned already, the Click Fix app, if we could add an issue where there's homeless, box to be checked, you know, where it's a category, if you will, and possibly the same thing with police reports. Police reports are public records, where we can see some of those. If it's a homeless issue, if there's a box that when the officer fills out a report, that would give us some information as well on whether it's a criminal issue, a homeless issue, or what kind of an issue it is, where we can start getting some statistics to pile up to see how bad the problem is. And then the last thing is the entire community of citizens and voters have been dealing with this explosion of homeless people, and it needs to be addressed in any way we can possible to get it under control. And Doc, I appreciate what you said there about moving the ordinances forward and trying to get that going. And we don't want, like I said, we don't want the city to build shelters. We want to take the steps necessary to stop the migration of homeless into Pittsburgh. And we can all see what's going on with our own eyes out there. And any help that we can get to deal with the problem would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Seeing no other business, we'll call for an adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
I second it.
Moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.